Good morning, friends. You are most welcome to Think Guys channel. Today we are going to discuss Practicing Anthropology by MAAN IGNOU, and our topic is Anthropology of Tourism Roots and Development. Before the recognition of anthropology of tourism as a serious field of study, many sociologists and anthropologists attempted to explore the elements of this subject. Durkheim has perhaps been the most successful anthropologist to establish the relationship between the individual and the society. His works have been applied to tourism by Nelson Graben in his book The Elementary Form of Religious Life. Emile Durkheim 1912 or 1915 has said that all religious belief must have emanated as a sort of collective representation of society in the form of totemic symbols. Rituals and prayers done at the time of periodic festivals are devoted to the totemic spirit. At this time, a collective representation of totemic clan members occur when all the clan people come together at one place and pray. Here the feelings of the people are heightened and a mystic feeling about togetherness arises. It is in these collective ceremonies that man first experienced religious beliefs. In other words, the group is God to the individual according to Durkheim. In the similar classic work, The Rites of Passage, 1909 and 1960, English edition, in Anthropology, Arnold von Gennep theorized about the transition from one social category to another during the so-called life cycle, which usher individuals through the crucial crises of their lives such as birth, puberty, marriage, parenthood, advancement to a higher class, occupational specialization, and death. He discovered that the ceremonies for all these life cycles could be subdivided into three stages. Separation. The individual would first be ritually removed from the society as a whole. This involves break off an individual from his or her old group of status. The rituals concerning this phase symbolize the loss of the old status. Transition. He would then be isolated for a period and be in complete seclusion from the remaining society. In this stage, the individual, though cut off from the old status, is yet to be incorporated in the new group, acquiring new status. Incorporation. He would finally be incorporated back into the tribe in his new status. The rituals and symbols of this phase are those of rebirth. In societies where there are age sets with marked political functions, the entry and exit of members from one age set to other is elaborately ceremonialized. On relating the work of Van Gennep and Durkheim and using their ideas, it becomes easy to prove the why of tourism. In the book Peter M. Burns, in his book Peter M. Burns 1999, has taken the example of young Australians and New Zealanders who appear to go through a sort of rite of passage when they take long trip to Europe. If this is treated as a ritual as explained in the work of von Gennep and Durkheim, it means that these youngsters are removed from their normal life. On returning back home, a welcome home ceremony is given to them, and they mingle in normal society, get married, and settle down. In this context, tourism could be seen as a totem of freedom, thereby metaphorically worshipping tourism as a symbol of modern economic and social freedom could be interpreted as worshipping society itself. Forces of cultural change. Modern tourist agents of change induce change directly or indirectly, and natives collaborators take initiatives to develop tourist areas towards area of cultural interaction or contact which leads to acculturation. There has been a lack of awareness of the socio-cultural significance of tourism. Until recently, tourism was thought to be about economics and tourists, not about the local community or host on whom anthropologists focus. Tourism was viewed as a Western phenomena, something that happened only in industrialized or large scale societies and therefore was not relevant to studies of indigenous peoples or small scale societies. Therefore, the study of tourism was deemed suitable for economists, geographers, and sociologists but not anthropologists. The association between the two fields does not have a long historical background. The first anthropological study of tourism was undertaken by Nunez in 1963, while the validation of tourism as an appropriate field of the anthropological study was perhaps first undertaken by Cohen in the late 1970s, 1970-1980. That is 2004 when Cohen said about that. Although Cohen's main focus initially was how tourism is relevant to sociology, this had a strong implication for later anthropological involvement. The emergence of the anthropological study of tourism can be traced through key journals in both the fields of anthropology and tourism. The Annals of Tourism Research (ATR) started in 1973. It is the official journal of the Society for the Advancement of the Tourism Industry and remains one of the most important tourism journals. The first article on tourism and the social sciences was published in the journal in 1974. The first article with the first article with Anthropology in the title was published only in 1977. By the late 1980s, Graben, who had then been publishing in the field for 10 years, described the study of tourism as an entirely suitable, albeit neglected, topic for anthropologists, 1988, and this view has been vindicated by a gradually growing corpus of anthropological studies of tourism. Valine Smith organized the first American Anthropological Association symposia on tourism in 1974, the papers of which became host and guest. The Anthropology of Tourism, 1977. In the second edition of this book, 1989, the original contributors reviewed their fieldwork to provide time depth in their analysis. This work has recently been re-examined, Smith and Brent, 2001, and emphasizes on new issues for anthropology and tourism in the 21st century. From its beginning, as a subject suitable for academic study, tourism has been strongly associated with notion of development. The tourism industry has been, and in some cases continues to be, seen as vital for the development of small-scale underdeveloped or less developed Harrison 1992 societies, and anthropologists have contributed to tourism literature in discussions on many theories surrounding the issues of development. Let's repeat that. From its beginning as a subject suitable for academic study, tourism has been strongly associated with notions of development. The tourism industry has been, and in some cases continues to be, seen as vital for the development of small scale, underdeveloped or less developed societies. Harrison 1992. And anthropologists have contributed to the tourism literature in discussions on the many theories surrounding the issue of development. In 1993, Prajeklavsky proposed an interdisciplinary approach to the study of tourism in which issues can be examined from different viewpoints. This approach stressed that tourism is a very complex phenomena encompassing issues that are economic, to do with supply and demand, business and markets, psychological, such as need and motivation, social, roles, contexts and ties, cultural, where it can transmit knowledge and be a factor in change. To understand this complexity, an integrative interdisciplinary approach seemed appropriate and important to provide a holistic view of tourism. Anthropologists and other social scientists argue that people rather than business lie at the heart of the need to analyze tourism. Burns 1999. This is evidenced by the fact that tourism is widespread in human society. There are very few places left on our planet that have not been reached by tourists, and increasingly fewer people who have not traveled. Subsequently, tourism had the potential to affect all of humankind. In addition, tourism involves contact between cultures and subcultures as tourists travel to places outside their normal places of work and rest to places very different from their own. One can also not deny that tourism contributes to the transformation of societies and cultures, although tourism may not be the sole cause of such transformations in the society, but without doubt is one of the main reasons, regardless of the size or location of the society or culture being transformed. Anthropology offers a valuable approach to the critical analysis of tourism through its holistic and comparative framework, that is, the ability to bring the local and the global together by recognizing the interconnectedness of social, cultural, environmental, religious, political, and economic domains. Burns 1999. Burns 1999 cover claims that anthropology is the window through which tourism dynamics may be properly analyzed and evaluated. Burns further suggests that anthropology and tourism, as a combined field of knowledge, have obvious synergy. Burns 1999. Tourism has become a set of global activities crossing many cultures, and in doing this, has forced itself into the traditional domain of anthropological study. As Schofield observes, the challenges for anthropology is not to shy away from tourism as a legitimate area of research, as appears to be the case with many conservative faculties of anthropology, at least in Australia, but to help us better understand the complexities of the tourism system. Schofield 2000. Tourism is essentially an applied topic. It involves real people in real situations. To satisfy the needs of tourism studies, anthropological contribution need to become more applied both in its theoretical orientation and its practical reality. Gardner and Lewis 1996 discuss the application of anthropological methodology, skills and expertise in the development context, arguing a place for anthropologists to work within the large industries that impact on the lives of indigenous people. Anthropology needs to meet this challenge in the tourism arena. The future challenges for anthropology is to increase its contribution to expand its analytical work on tourism as the practice of tourism becomes more focused on host. Burns and Schofield 2001, not just as objects or commodities but as active participants. The demand grows for anthropology to apply its specialized knowledge and generate new theoretical framework. Such application can assist not only the host communities but also the tourist and the tourism operators that comprise the whole tourism system. In anthropology, the wide range of possibilities for the study of tourism is only being realized. Ultimately, anthropology is about people, and so is tourism.